Trevor Mason had just gotten his daughter Ava to bed when the knocking started. Not a polite tap, but urgent pounding that echoed through his small house. He checked the security camera on his phone. A young woman stood on his porch, soaked through, shivering in what looked like an evening dress. Her blonde hair was plastered to her face, and she kept glancing behind her into the darkness. Trevor's instincts screamed caution. He was a single father, alone with a 6-year-old daughter. Opening the door to a stranger at 9:30 on a stormy night was the kind of decision that ended badly in news reports. But the woman looked terrified, and the rain was coming down in sheets. He opened the door, keeping the chain lock engaged. "Please," the woman said immediately. "I need help. Someone's following me. I saw your lights and please." "Who's following you?" "I don't know. I was at a event downtown. I left to get some air, and these men started following me. I ran. I've been running for blocks. Please, I just need to call the police." Trevor studied her. She was young, maybe mid-20s. Her dress was expensive, he could tell that much. Her fear seemed genuine. "Where's your phone?" "I dropped my purse when I ran. Please, I know this is crazy, but I'm begging you." Trevor made a decision that would change everything. He unlatched the chain and opened the door. "Come inside. You can use my phone." The woman practically fell through the doorway. She was trembling, water dripping onto his floor, mascara running down her face. "Thank you. Thank you so much." Trevor handed her a towel from the hall closet. "Here, the phone's in the kitchen." As the woman dried her face, Trevor heard a small voice from the stairs. "Daddy, what's happening?" Ava stood on the landing in her pajamas, clutching her stuffed rabbit. "It's okay, sweetheart. Go back to bed. Someone just needed to use the phone. But she's all wet. I know, it's raining outside. Now go on, back to sleep." Ava reluctantly retreated upstairs. Trevor turned back to find the woman staring at him. "You have a daughter, yes. Which is why I need you to make this quick. Call whoever you need to call, and then I'll drive you wherever you need to go. But I can't have strangers in my house with my daughter here. Of course, I understand. I'm so sorry to intrude." She picked up his phone and dialed. Trevor expected to hear her call the police or maybe a friend. Instead, she said, "Victor, it's me. I need a pickup. She looked at Trevor. "What's the address here?" Trevor rattled off the address, growing increasingly uneasy. This didn't feel like someone calling for help from danger. After she hung up, the woman looked at him apologetically. "I'm sorry for the deception. I wasn't being followed. Well, I was, but not by criminals. By bodyguards. My bodyguards. I ran away from an event. I needed space. They were hovering and I just bolted." "Who are you?" "My name is Isabel Hartman. My father is Richard Hartman." Trevor's stomach dropped. Richard Hartman, one of the wealthiest men in the state. Real estate mogul, political donor, the kind of person who made headlines. Your father is Richard Hartman. And you just showed up at a random stranger's house. I didn't plan this. I just ran. When I saw your light, I thought, I don't know what I thought, that maybe I could be somewhere normal for 5 minutes, somewhere people weren't watching every move I made. So you lied about being in danger. I panicked. I'm sorry, my security team is on their way. They'll be here in about 10 minutes. I'll leave and you can pretend this never happened. Trevor should have been angry. Instead, he felt a strange sympathy. The woman in front of him looked exhausted in a way that had nothing to do with running through the rain. "Do you want some tea or something while you wait?" Isabel looked surprised. "You're not throwing me out? You lied to get in. But you're here now and it's pouring." "I'm not going to make you wait on the porch." "That's very kind. Tea would be nice." In the kitchen, Trevor put the kettle on while Isabel sat at his small table, wrapped in a towel. She looked around at the modest space. The drawings Ava had stuck to the refrigerator with magnets, the stack of bills on the counter. "This is a nice home," she said. "It's small, but it's ours. Where's your wife?" "I don't have one. It's just me and Ava. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pry. It's fine. Her mother left when Ava was a baby, decided family life wasn't what she wanted. I've been doing it alone ever since." The kettle whistled. Trevor poured hot water over tea bags in mismatched mugs. "Sugar? Milk? Just plain is fine." They sat in silence for a moment, the rain drumming against the windows. "Can I ask you something?" Isabel said. "Why did you open the door? I could have been anyone. Dangerous, lying, anything. You were. You were lying, but you didn't know that, no. I just saw someone who needed help. My daughter was safe upstairs. I had a phone to call police if needed, and I couldn't leave someone in a storm. Most people would have. Maybe. But I teach Ava that we help people when we can. I can't tell her that and then not do it myself. Isabel smiled for the first time. She's lucky to have you as a father. I'm lucky to have her. She's the reason I do anything. The reason I work 2 jobs, the reason I get up every morning. Everything is for her. What do you do? For work? I'm a construction foreman during the day, and I drive for a rideshare service 3 nights a week. Ava stays with my neighbor Mrs. Chen on those nights. That sounds exhausting. It is. But Ava needs things. Dance classes, good shoes, birthday presents. Normal kid stuff. I make it work. You're a good father. I try. It's all I can do. Headlights swept across the front windows. 2 black SUVs pulled up outside. That's my security, Isabel said. I should go. She stood, then hesitated. Thank you, Trevor, for opening the door, for the tea, for not treating me like a spoiled rich girl who wasted your time. You're not wasting my time, and I hope things get better. Whatever you're running from, I hope you find a way to deal with it. My father wants me to marry someone, a business arrangement more than a relationship. He's hosting this gala in 2 weeks, where he's planning to announce the engagement. I can't do it, but I don't know how to tell him no. Tell him the truth, that you deserve to choose your own life. It's not that simple in my world, it never is. But you're the only one who has to live your life. Make sure it's one you can live with. Isabel impulsively hugged him. Thank you. After she left, Trevor locked the door and headed upstairs. Ava was awake, sitting at the top of the stairs. Who was that lady, Daddy? Someone who needed help. Is she okay now? I think she will be. Good. You always help people. That's why you're the best daddy. Trevor tucked Ava back into bed, his heart full despite the late hour and the strangeness of the evening. 3 days later, a black car pulled up outside Trevor's house again. This time it was midday, and Trevor was off work. A man in an expensive suit got out, along with 2 security personnel. Trevor recognized him from news reports, Richard Hartman himself. Trevor opened the door before the man could knock. Mr. Mason? I'm Richard Hartman. I believe you met my daughter a few nights ago. I did. Is she all right? She's fine, thanks to you. May I come in? Trevor stepped aside, acutely aware of how shabby his living room must look to a billionaire. Richard Hartman glanced around, his expression unreadable. I came to thank you, Richard said. Isabel told me what happened. How you opened your door to a stranger in a storm. How you showed her kindness when you had every reason to be suspicious. I just gave her some tea and a place to dry off. You did more than that. You listened to her without judgment. You gave her advice about standing up for herself. That conversation changed her mind about something important. The engagement? She told you about that? She mentioned her father wanted her to marry someone she didn't love. Richard sat heavily on Trevor's worn couch. I've made a lot of mistakes as a father. I built an empire but forgot to build a relationship with my daughter. I pushed her toward a marriage that would benefit my business interests without asking what would benefit her happiness. It's not too late to change that. No, it's not. Isabel called off the engagement. She told me she deserves to choose her own path. She said a single father working 2 jobs taught her more about courage in 1 evening than I've taught her in 25 years. Trevor felt his face heat. I didn't teach her anything. I just listened. Sometimes that's exactly what people need. Richard pulled out his phone. I looked into you, Mr. Mason. I hope you don't mind. I wanted to know about the man my daughter trusted. That's a little invasive. It is, but I needed to know. You have an excellent work history, no criminal record, and every reference speaks highly of you. You're raising your daughter alone while working 60 hours a week. You volunteer at her school when you can. You're exactly the kind of person I wish I'd been when Isabel was young. Mr. Hartman, why are you here? Because my daughter asked me to help you. And because I want to do something right for once. I don't need charity. It's not charity, it's an investment. I'm opening a new construction division. High-end residential and commercial projects. I need someone to run it. Someone with your experience and integrity. The salary is 3 times what you're making now, with full benefits and reasonable hours. You'd be home for dinner with your daughter every night. Trevor's head spun. You're offering me a job? I'm offering you an opportunity. You'd have to prove yourself, same as anyone. But I think you will. The question is whether you're interested. Why me? You could hire anyone. Because you opened your door when you didn't have to. Because you gave my daughter something she desperately needed. Genuine kindness without an agenda. That tells me more about your character than any resume could. Trevor thought about Ava, about being able to afford better schools, about not working himself into exhaustion, about maybe having time for a life beyond work and survival. When would I start? 2 weeks, unless you need more time. 2 weeks is fine. Mr. Hartman, I don't know what to say. Say you'll take the job, and maybe if you're willing you'd consider having dinner with Isabel and me next week. As friends, not as an obligation. She'd like to see you again, I think. The dinner was at a modest restaurant, not the kind of flashy place Trevor had expected. Isabel greeted him warmly, looking different in jeans and a simple blouse than she had soaked and terrified on his porch. Thank you for coming, she said. I wanted to see you again. To thank you properly. You don't owe me anything. I owe you more than you know. That night, I was at my lowest. I felt trapped and powerless, and then you treated me like a regular person. You gave me tea and advice and didn't ask for anything in return. It reminded me that I had power over my own life. Over dinner, they talked easily. Richard asked about Ava, about Trevor's plans for the new job. Isabel told them about starting a foundation to help single parents access resources and support. You inspired that too, she told Trevor. Seeing how hard you work for Ava, how you do everything alone. I realize there are thousands of parents in your situation who could use help. That's a wonderful thing to do. It's a start. I'm tired of being useless. I want to do something that matters. As the evening wound down, Richard excused himself to take a call. Isabel leaned closer to Trevor. Can I ask you something personal? Sure. Do you ever date? Or is it too complicated with Ava? I haven't dated since her mother left. Between work and parenting, there's no time. And honestly, I don't trust easily anymore. That makes sense. But you deserve to have a life too. Not just be Ava's father, but be Trevor. A person with needs and wants of his own. Maybe someday, when Ava's older. Or maybe sooner than you think. Isabel smiled. I'd like to see you again, Trevor. Not in a professional capacity, just as two people who might enjoy each other's company. Isabel, I'm not in your league. I'm a construction worker with a first grader. You're a good man raising a daughter alone while working 2 jobs. You opened your door in a storm to help a stranger. That's exactly my league. Over the following months, Trevor started his new job and found he was good at it, better than good. He had a natural talent for managing complex projects and keeping teams working efficiently. Isabel became a regular presence in his and Ava's life. She'd show up for pizza nights, help Ava with art projects, and slowly won over the skeptical 6-year-old who was protective of her father. I like her, Ava told Trevor one evening. She's nice, and she doesn't treat me like a baby. She is nice, isn't she? Are you going to marry her? We're just friends, sweetheart. But you like her. I can tell. Trevor did like her, more than he'd expected to. Isabel was genuine in a way that surprised him. Away from her father's shadow and society expectations, she was funny and thoughtful and deeply kind. A year after that rainy night, Isabel proposed to Trevor. Not with a ring, but with a question asked during one of their quiet evenings at his house. What if we made this official? You, me, Ava, a real family. Isabel, are you sure? My life is complicated. I have a daughter. We're a package deal. I know, that's what Trevor, you taught me what real love looks like. It's not grand gestures or expensive gifts. It's showing up. It's opening doors in storms. It's working 2 jobs so your daughter can have dance classes. It's being present and honest and choosing each other every day. My daughter comes first. Always. I know. I wouldn't respect you if she didn't. But maybe I could come first too. Not instead of her, but alongside her. Maybe we could all be first for each other. They married quietly, with Ava as flower girl and Richard walking Isabel down the aisle with tears in his eyes. Take care of her, Richard told Trevor. And let her take care of you. You've both been alone long enough." Years later, when people asked how they met, Trevor would tell the story of opening his door in a storm. "I didn't know who she was," he'd say. "I just saw someone who needed help. Turns out, we both did. She needed someone to see her as a person, not a name or a bank account. And I needed someone to remind me that I deserved a life beyond just survival." For Isabel, the lesson was different but equally profound. "I spent my whole life surrounded by people who wanted something from me," she'd say. Money, access, connections. Trevor wanted nothing. He just offered kindness. That night in the storm, he gave me tea and towels and advice, expecting nothing in return. That's when I learned what real generosity looks like. And that's when I started, building the life I actually wanted, instead of the one everyone expected. The night Trevor opened his door, he thought he was just helping a stranger out of the rain. He didn't know he was protecting someone who would become family. He didn't know that one act of simple kindness would transform both their lives. But that's how it works sometimes. We open doors not knowing what's on the other side. We offer shelter without expecting reward. We choose compassion even when caution might be safer. And sometimes, impossibly, wonderfully, that choice changes everything. The end. If this story reminded you that simple kindness can transform lives in unexpected ways, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales about opening doors, taking chances, and finding family in surprising places. Comment below about a time you helped a stranger, or when someone's unexpected kindness changed your path. Your story might inspire someone else to open their own door when opportunity knocks.